Google Safe Browsing is a system that many of you probably never heard of, but you've almost certainly interacted with it. Have you ever tried to visit a website that looks slightly less than above board? The website is possibly maybe going to install some malware onto your system, and when you go to the link, instead of it showing you the website, you are shown a screen that looks like this. Now, it might look a bit different whether you're on Brave, Firefox, Chrome, Vivaldi, or even Safari, but the majority of major browsers opt into Google Safe Browsing. This is basically a blacklist of websites that you really shouldn't be going to. Like, they're not just, oh, it's politically bad. Like, these are websites that are phishing websites that try to install malware and other things that you never want to get yourself involved with. But it is used outside of just the web browser. For example, in Android app verification. So if you upload an app to the Play Store, there's going to be a scan over that app, checking the web content loaded by the application. And if it's trying to load content from one of these blacklisted websites, you're not allowed to do that. It is used in Google search. So if one of these links shows up in search, it's going to be marked as, hey, don't go to that website, it's very bad. It is used by the ads team to make sure that ads aren't pointing to these websites. Now, sometimes that doesn't go too well, and there are very malicious things shown in ads, but that's the plan at least. And also, if someone sends you a dangerous link over Gmail, that is going to be marked as well. Once again, sometimes it doesn't work very well. As we all know, nothing is ever missed by Google. Every time there's something malicious on their platform, they are going to know about it. Eventually. Now, for the most part, it is a reasonable system. But sometimes, it basically falls on its face and just collapses. For example, to the point of potentially collapsing a business. If your startup gets marked as a dangerous website because of just some content being loaded by an external script, well, good luck. Have fun with that one. Or maybe sometimes you have a documentation website, and for some reason, it gets marked as unsafe. Very likely for a similar reason why this site got marked as unsafe as well. If you want to read about a bunch of dumb ways that Google Safe Browsing can fail and cause a ton of damage, have a read of this Hacker News thread. It is going to give you a good laugh. Now, the way that Google describes it is as so. Google Safe Browsing helps protect over 5 billion devices every day by showing warnings to users when they attempt to navigate to dangerous sites or download dangerous files. Safe Browsing also notifies webmasters when their websites are compromised by malicious actors and helps them diagnose and resolve the problem so that all of their visitors stay safe. Safe Browsing protections work across Google products and power safer browsing experiences across the internet. And here is a very recent example. This is a website called GitHub. I think we all know about it. For anyone who doesn't though, it is a website that stores mainly source code to open source repos. Alright, simple enough. And this is a repo on GitHub. But going to the link just the other day didn't take you to the website. Instead, this happened. Yes, a repo on GitHub was marked as a malicious website. I don't understand it myself, but that is what happened. I was doing this on Brave, but it also happened over on Firefox, Safari, Chrome, and everything else out there because they all opt into the exact same system, Google Safe Browsing. Now, I can't speak for every implementation, but at least on Brave, you can just ignore the warning and proceed to the website anyway. But the entire time you're on the website, there's going to be this danger warning up in the top left corner. There is nothing dangerous here. This is just a GitHub repo, one that has been updated for 3 years. In a fairly rare turn of events, Google is somewhat transparent about what is actually happening here. They provide a transparency website where you can go and check the status of any domain. So we search for this current domain here. It is going to say, some pages on this site are unsafe. That's because this has now been de-escalated as a problem. Originally, it said this. This site is unsafe. Now changed to, some pages on this site are unsafe. But the main content we care about is exactly the same. The site, that GitHub repo, contains harmful content, including pages that install unwanted or malicious software on visitors' computers. Once again, I can't speak for every single implementation, but of the ones that I've seen and on Brave, if you want to get directly to this website, you can go to details and there'll be a link that takes you directly to this. So what's the deal here? Like, how did this get flagged in the first place? Because it's on GitHub. Like, we know GitHub is not malicious, so unless this user came up with some sort of exploit that allows you to, like, load arbitrary binaries into a GitHub repo that get installed on some user's system, which I'm sure I would have heard about if they worked out how to do so, that's probably not the case. Well, I think the reason it got flagged is because of the contents. This is a repo called Mimikatz. Mimikatz is a tool I've made to learn C and make some experiments with Windows security. It's now well known how to extract plaintext passwords, hash, pin code, and Kerberos tickets from memory. Mimikatz can also perform pass the hash, pass the ticket, or build golden tickets. Whilst a little bit out of date and likely doesn't work properly anymore, the TLDR is this can be used as malware. Obviously, it can be used for like less malicious reasons as well, but it can be distributed in a malicious way. But that is not at all what the issue said, and there are massive archives out there with nothing but malware in them. These exist for research purposes and improving the state of antivirus systems. Let's have a read of the issue again. The site, that repo, contains harmful content, including pages that install unwanted or malicious software on visitors' computers. This is saying that going to this repo is what installs the software, which is not at all what it does. So how does a perfectly harmless page like this actually get flagged? Well, I can't say exactly what happened in this specific instance, but there are ways we know they get flagged. One is just as a part of the automatic crawling that Google does across the entire web. And it's entirely possible there was a slight update to their web crawler, and for some reason, it saw content on this page and was like, that sounds like malware. Okay, this page is malware then. But a more likely option is if we go down to the bottom of the safe browsing website, all the way down here, contact us. Report malware, report phishing error. So, as you can see, they are not the most user-facing websites, so they're styled very much like the old sort of pages that Google does. This is even worse. Like, I don't even know what this is. This is a page that is made to function, and literally nothing else. That kind of gives me a good indication of what the internal tools at Google look like. They probably have no styling, or they're styled like a 2006 website. Here is what I think happened. Either the web crawler had some minor update that caught this website because it was a terrible update and for some reason thinks the text on the website is saying it just installs malware, which is not what you would do if you're trying to just maliciously install code onto someone's system. Or there is a user who thought they were being helpful. They knew about this Google Safe Browsing thing, and they reported the website for having malware on it, because that's what they thought this page was for. And I highly doubt there was any sort of manual review. So it just automatically got thrown into the system, and then it was just flagged as a malicious website. When this all went down, there was a post that got a little bit of attention on Twitter. So I have a feeling that maybe someone at Google saw this post and was like, maybe that website's not actually malicious. Maybe I should go and fix that. Because now it's clearly fixed. Like, you can go to the website, wherever the page is, you can go to the website and it just works perfectly fine. It's still marked as potentially maybe dangerous, but like, it's not at the level where it automatically triggers the red screen. Now, fun little thing about Google Safe Browsing, at least in the context of GitHub. If you, instead of going to the repo, go to the user's profile, search for the repo, and then click on that link, that is not going to trigger Google Safe Browsing. If you then refresh the page, it is going to trigger. What seems to be happening there is it doesn't trigger the API when you're going over a relative link. Also, GitHub is doing a lot of like single page application stuff. It's not until you actually fully reload everything that it actually does the check. So, that means there is probably a way that you can create a landing page and then have a website that is incredibly malicious that should be getting triggered that's hidden by the landing page. I don't know of a way you could do this effectively, but it's almost certainly a thing that's possible. For the record, please don't do that. That's a crime. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have you ever run into Google Safe Browsing? Did you even know it was a thing? I would love to know. So if you liked the video, go like the video. And if you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check the Patreon subscribe to the Libero page linked in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and stay safe out there.